Alright, I have restarted my recording.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in
Yeah.
between? We're out here. We're watching Ghost of Antietam
Best
Wednesday
commentators in the
night
world right here.
event, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not here, you wish you were, baby. So it looks like the CSA is getting formed up on the ridge line. Everybody's all nice and columned up. 7th Tennessee and 20th Georgia looking fine as ever. That man is all ready to start clubbing. Volunteer haste. Let's see here. What's going on over on the far right side so far? We have 14th Tennessee, a brand new edition, moving out a minute early.
Uh-oh. Other than that, everyone else staying nice and tidy.
Smells good, right?
Yeah, 33rd, give it some,
her name's
good over,
Remember, you gotta record your screen because any infraction has to be video recorded.
Yeah. Let's see how the Union is looking. As gorgeously arrayed as ever. Who's out here in this dirt patch? Oh, dude, 3rd US brings some pretty good numbers.
Thick, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. We're recording. What's up?
Main guy has my NCO slot.
Who?
Random 10th main guy has my bottom A NCO slot.
Call him the N-word and kick him.
I can kick him, it's cool.
Did you talk to him?
I have not. I just spawned in. I'm super late and we're already, like, leaving, so...
Just tell him to switch off when he dies.
Yeah, just tell him to switch off when he dies. If he doesn't, then I would kick him, yeah.
But, like, 10th main isn't even, like...
It's second main.
Double quick forward march.
Yeah, they rebranded, not that anybody asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to find him, but... Fuck, it's Burnsides, you know?
I can find him for you.
That would be nice if possible.
What company
oh, he's
is
right
he
here.
in?
I just found him. Hey.
Oh.
Now
we
reading
have
everything for you.
beloved 4th New Jersey. Yo, I see we have Mass Jersey running cannons tonight.
Yeah.
And my boys right here running a full gun crew.
Alright, Niles
Tally,
gone, thank God.
Aram, and Dupa getting ready to launch that first shot with, I believe, the 3-inch gun. Let's track this bad boy and see where it goes. That's just a practice shot, rammed, sponged, and loaded. They're rolling it forward.
CSA actually has a pretty solid defense on the right.
Oh, here comes the Union, sprinting across.
Yeah, I think if I had to predict, I don't think that left side push is actually going to go anywhere. They've got a good amount of CSA tucked in there.
Union is split pushing. Very interesting. Looks like the majority are going right. Not a lot of casualties on the bridge, surprisingly. Pretty light. Oh, we're seeing some contact over here on the north side.
Yeah, right.
Here we have 8th Connecticut pushing up fucking hard into 33rd right off the rip. Oh my god, let's go, dude.
Dang!
20th Georgia is nearby looking for support. Are they going to push out? Jumbo's calling for bayonets. His 20th Georgia didn't have them on. Kind of a mistake on their part, I believe.
Dang. Go, boys,
Jumbo
go!
just nailed somebody with his pistol from about 40 yards away.
I don't think 20th Georgia sees all the Union behind.
That 20th Georgia is their officers calling for retreat, and they have 3 guys pushing into the rest of the Union.
Oh, no!
There. Oh, here comes 3rd US and 1st Maryland pushing up for support. Jumbo is completely overwhelmed as he bodies that Rambo.
2nd US coming in from the way rear. Look at this out the river. Back up.
Man. Yeah, let's go. COD telling 20th Georgia to look away and then seemingly not engaging at all. Wow. It's pretty insane. The rest of some 2nd US guys and your flag, that's not good. Frankie Feets swinging around far away. Far right with the help of 1st Lieutenant Shifty. Let's see here. There is seemingly no resistance as they skirt the
Alright.
boundary of the map hard.
You just secured the
11th
north side fence. That's pretty crazy. That was really
11th
quick.
miss is pushing into the Union on the fence. Completely outgunned. I don't think they're really aware as to what
take
they're
a look
getting
south.
into.
The Union south by the river.
Spear.
There actually is
South.
still a good amount
We
of
don't have a
them
flag
alive.
here, do we?
Union South seems to be holding out.
They're
Not
they,
really
look
able
how many
to
CSA
push.
they have distracted. That's at least.
Yeah,
They have
they're-
LAB, 14th Tennessee, and 7th Tennessee all over here distracted, and it is only
Union
a handful of
outnumbered 2-1 over here, but they're not pushing, but they are holding back a large portion of the CSA force on the ridgeline. They seem pretty, satisfied to just volley on top of the ridgeline and pick off whoever they can in the shrubbery. All right, coming back to center. What's going on here? 7th Tennessee is skirmed out, watching the bridgehead, waiting for Union that will not arrive. Because there is no, all the Union are behind them. Let's see here, 20th Georgia trying to get into the flank of the Union posted up on the ridge line. 2nd US giving them the good yeehaw. 20th Georgia falling back to the rocks. Looking very nice.
CSA's got the Union box in over here on the north side. Not making any notable pushes yet. Oh, CSA's moving down the road, using that defilade for cover. Wait, no they're not. They're looking towards the bridge still.
Alright, you cannot go past this post
7th
right
Tennessee
here.
seems to be slightly distracted. 20th Georgia on the Union's east side.
33rd Virginia has started to slowly contest up the fence line as well, with some support from 27th as well. Let's see what's going on here down by the riverbed. A very small but mighty amount of the Union dealing with numbers at least double their size right now. Surprisingly, the CSA isn't trying to push them out and is content to try and thin them out with marksmanship alone. First LAB here doing the most. And then it looks like 14th is doing pop-out volleys, also known as the conga line behind the tree. If you don't know what the conga line is, you are missing out. A small contingent of flag bearers or flag guards for 5th Alabama just absolutely dry humping the shit out of the flag bearer. Let's see here, who do we have here? We have 2 people shooting on this fence. They just split. Reinforcement 7th LA has pushed off of the right side and is starting to put pressure on the Union on the north end of the fence. Oh, 7th Tennessee and 7th South Carolina are, looks like they're going to be adjusting to the Union northeastern side. 20th Georgia is down to 5 strong men, still holding ground. Union 5th Corps doing the most. Holy hell. Let's see, 20th Georgia. Oh, gets him with the second shot. Looks like CSA is pushing the northwestern part of the fence, 11th Mississippi, hitting them with a, I would say a middling run-up volley as they're outgunned about fucking 1 to 20 right now, but they're doing the most right now. Let's see here. Positioned. CSA artillery content to do absolutely nothing. They have 5 people on battery, and they seem to be pretty uncoordinated right now. It looks like they have Quartermaster Dirt Trying to set up some shots. Oh, there's the CSA battery. They're gonna try and get this gun prep to probably fire into the western flank of the Union. You know, one case round through that snake rail fence could get a large number of kills.
Union South by the river is gone now.
Ronald is making a hot eye contact with 11th Mississippi in the middle of the field right now. Running back, not firing his gun. That is discipline at its finest. Looks like CSA's got their cannon ready to hit the side of the Union over on the fence. Looks to be a 3-inch gun, locked and loaded, as Sergeant Glennard sights it in.
Sergeant, let me know who won that.
I will.
Load it.
In a second.
Oh, sorry.
Go off there.
Sergeant Loaded. I got Sergeant Papa.
Load it. To the left flank, big church.
I don't know if that's bad or good. There's people
Keep it up.
just running back and forth.
Those are friendlies on our side.
Yeah, those are
It's
friendlies.
taking an awfully long time to sight in this gun.
One.
Keep those buttons clenched.
Dang. These are some really good unit volleys. Well, maybe not really good, but they are definitely hitting.
They are volleys.
They are volleys.
Here we see Sergeant Glennard. Oh, we have a CSA push on the south side.
No south.
Southwestern side. 5th Alabama doing a run-up volley. Hitting a couple of 1st Maine Cavaliers who skirmed out on the western flank. Taking about 50% casualties. Very good volley. That cannon shot, which I completely missed, hit CSA friendlies deeper into the woods. Completely outranged and oversighted. Oh! Union cannonball going deep into the tree line, hitting a large oak tree and scaring the shit out of the guy it killed. It looks like Union is getting pushed from all locations right now. They are thin on the western corner of their defense, taking shots from artillery, skirmishers, and run-up volleys from 5th Alabama. Here comes the volley. What's the damage? Oh, nailing a couple guys. The Union continues to hold their position. It looks like the Union has been completely dislodged from the south side push earlier from 4th New Jersey and 1st Mass. I do not know where they are on the map currently. We have lost contact. Is the entire Union posted up on the western side?
Whole Union's on that fence right now.
Yeah, there they are. 4th New Jersey has slotted in to fill in that eastern flank.
Hey, just don't.
West side under the most pressure seemingly from case and canister rounds nailing into their side. That one going clear over the top of everybody.
4th New Jersey pushing to the east. Gonna push out 7th Tennessee, I believe it is.
Second shot from the cannon going clear over the skirmishers of 1st Mass. One of their NCOs giving accuracy suggestions. Here we see 7th Tennessee still posted up on the rocks, trying to put some damage into the side of the Union. Corporal Jack seemingly the only surviving member of his unit. What a poor soul. He's not going to be able to sleep that one off.
Get ready.
Here we see 7th Tennessee, 33rd and 14th Tennessee, along with 7th LA. Independent firing across what seems to be the Hell Square, as there are units posted on each side, just laying into each other. Let's see here. It looks like 1st Mass has chosen to concentrate their efforts on the CSA artillery right now, which I think is an extremely good call. They have 3 men on 3 cannons, breaking event rules.
Dun dun dun.
Blatantly, as there is a minimum of 2 per cannon. As I go and look at the rules channel.
Wait, end up moving onto that fence over there.
This is an interesting strategy from the CSA. I think right now the Union is not being mobile enough, but I can also say the exact same for the CSA.
I hear a call for a charge. Definitely a CSA.
That's kind of impressive. They died pretty quick. Okay, so first mass is pushed on the artillery. Got it, right? Get roasted.
It looks like CSA has held their guns.
Hold, forward, on me.
Forward.
Ooh, first Maryland moving out.
Ronald is run up volley on the skirmishers. Let's see the damage.
0.
Shooting a little high, it seems. Suppression and suppression only. 7th Tennessee taking excellent advantage of the power of the defilade. The only thing stronger than the will to kill a rebel is, in fact, the dirt of God.
The Lord has confirmed this message.
God made dirt. Don't hurt.
Dirt don't hurt.
Dirt don't. Looks like 2nd U.S. is posting up to contend with the skirmishers on the eastern flank. Putting a lot of damage out there. Making 7th Tennessee have to tighten up their lines as they got spread out too thin to avoid being in out-of-line ticket deaths.
Now, if you fly way up here into the sky and you right-click, you can kind of see how boxed in the Union is, but they're still winning by a pretty good margin, which is kind of impressive.
Union is holding very, very good ground, but the CSA seems to have figured out a way to sort of erode away at this cover, which is pushing further north. I believe 20th Georgia is as far right in the boundaries you can get and still get fire into the side of the Union. Looks like they're planning run-up volleys with 7th Tennessee. 7th Tennessee nailing a couple of 2nd U.S. guys. 2nd U.S. giving independent fire back to them as well, nailing some of their marksmen. Looks like 20th Georgia is packed in there like sardines, ready to give the Union the good old rebel yell. Looks like the Union is falling back behind the stone wall. Less ground to give, less ground to lose, I suppose, but they're going to be even more boxed in than they were before. I don't know if it's really a smart play to give up that much ground. Maybe they're going to try and bait the CSA into overextending and countercharging with their numbers. They're about to get absolutely nailed in the ass right here. Independent fire from 7th Tennessee, absolutely punching holes in the Union line right now. They have to make a decision. Who do they want to contend with? Do they want to contend with the skirmishers? 7th LA and Tennessee taking some shots back. Lots of fire coming in right now.
I'm still standing.
Now they got that link. We can get our guys as a rear guard, stop those guys from falling the rear.
They're stacked up on this stone wall like Jackson himself. Lots of movement happening on the southwestern side of the Union line here. Kramer, First Sergeant Kramer, fanning that thing. Oh!
Popping out, right in barn.
CSA Rambo absolutely hitting the gritty, running past all of the Union line. Private Phantom looking lost, dead as hell.
Let's save our volley for theirs. They were slow with that volley, Sergeant. Let's hit him with the volley.
Yeah. Fast, load and hold.
Load and hold, first mass.
First Mass seems to have pinned down a Union. The CSA, a large portion of the CSA are now mustering behind the barn. Looks like all of 5th Alabama, portions of 14th and 11th Mississippi, all rallying for what I can only perceive to be a large CSA push on the western side of the Union. If I was the CSA looking at 1st Mass and 3rd US skirmishing on the fence line, I would think that's a pretty juicy target. Until you go about 20 feet back and see about 100 Union rifles ready to reinforce at the drop of a hat. CSA pushing hard through the east. 4th New Jersey holding tooth and nail against the CSA right now. Fatty himself driving back 7th Tennessee single-handedly.
What a boss. What a girl boss.
Me seeing one of my former guys joining 33rd Virginia, Recruit Benzo, out here doing the most. I'm going to kick him for double regging.
Everybody's dead except for Benzo.
Guys, I'm
I'm going to make a
Union
server
still
announcement.
got quite the lead right now, surprisingly. Unfortunately, I believe they are running down on time. Union needs to get a little bit more aggressive than they currently are. And I'm not understanding the not looking to the east flank. That is definitely going to be a mistake.
I need to find my son Arthur. Has anyone seen him?
Looks like Union seems to have recovered from the initial push from the eastern flank. 4th New Jersey repositioning back on the snake rail fence. There seems to be almost no pressure on the eastern side anymore, with several Virginia groups, along with 7th Tennessee, posting out on the defilade, which again is very, very good cover. But this is a defense map, and it seems to be that they are losing both to the clock and to Union lead.
Oh! So there's 3 years in 5th Alabama, 14 Tennessee, and 11 Miss, all tucked behind that bar. Oh man! Oh man! I'm flipping that. That was an incredible volley from who we got here. This is 1st Maryland and I believe 1st Mass as well. That was an excellent volley.
With some 2nd man rifles in there as well. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it looks like CSA is positioning another gun pointed at the massive Union on the stone wall.
Oh! 2nd US getting real aggressive. They're getting into him on the east side.
Panning back over to the east.
They're not
Let's see the
charging
action.
though.
Oh, they're scaring
Ran
him.
up and fired.
The majority of them being able to pull back from almost a barrel stuff of a volley. Absolutely throwing the CSA into a tizzy.
Who's got those good shots? I believe it's 1st LAB. Yep, 1st LAB hitting some dingers on 4th New Jersey over there.
We have a very lost 4th New Jersey private walking through the south side back towards the bridge.
Oh, no.
I will have to kick him if he stabs this guy, and I am kicking him.
MacArthur. Nate is trying to get your not MacArthur, Arthur. Nate's trying to get your guy Arthur back to your line. He's literally straight in the 33rd line right now. He's walking straight through 33rd.
Yeah. I have a Union deserter right here. He wants to join the CSA.
What?
What's your name, boy?
Tell him he has to kill some of them first.
Alright,
Anybody can do that.
Alright.
It is actually against the rules to take prisoners. Did you know that? It is actually against the rules to take prisoners.
I did not sign that because that is my recruit. He was going to get promoted to private tonight as his 2nd event. But he looks more lost than a Mormon at a strip club.
Oh, now getting mad at Irish. Dun dun dun.
7th LA hitting a pretty solid volley against friendly CSA units, seemingly, as there is no Union left at that corner. It looks like 2nd US is moving fast, being able to outpace the much slower and slightly retarded CSA. Guess that is what happens. Completely disorganized. They had the noose fairly tight around the Union neck. They just could not kick the chair out from underneath the Union. With some pretty aggressive maneuvering by 4th New Jersey and 2nd US, they were able to kind of expand their ground back again. CSA artillery in a position to do an amazing amount of damage, but it seems to be all their artillerymen are either dead or just coming back. They are trying to line up this 10-pound gun to maybe hit the Union off of that straight rail fence, but looks like they're gonna hit they're aiming for the nipple with 1st Main Cav.
Left side, left side.
Let's see if he can hit the shot. Lots of independent firing. No large pushes going on right now. It seems to have just evolved into large-scale skirmish combat across the board.
Yeah, let's get a few more guys spawn in. I just like that the unit are sucking up the stuff from the arty and not us right now.
2nd Main and 1st Main Cavalry holding this corner strong. Along with some support from 3rd US, 8th Connecticut, and 1st Mass.
Oh, who's moving up?
First
On
over
the east side there.
First mass, form line on my left.
East side CSA movement.
It is 33rd Virginia.
33rd Virginia getting absolutely conga lined by 2nd US against this one tree. Their entire unit posted behind one tree. They're doing independent fire, popping out on the left and right side of the tree, doing some pretty good damage considering their ground. 7th Tennessee not keen to push forward at all. Being content in this pretty good stalemate.
Oh shit. How did I give you?
I think the real question is here, what's the Union going to do to break out and cap that point?
Looks like 7th Tennessee is getting aggressive. Run up volley. Looking for damage. Looking for damage. Looking for damage. 7th Tennessee being slow on their volley. Hitting no one, it looks like. Looks like we've got some 33rd pushing up on the Snake Grove fence, trying to get some shots into the side of 2nd US. Their tree seemingly no longer saving them as they get absolutely cut down by some quick maneuvering from Captain Nate and his boys. 2nd US trying to pivot their cover, now being exposed from the far east side.
East side CSA getting kind of aggressive.
Let's see if some teamwork between 7th Tennessee and 33rd Virginia is able to push 2nd US behind the sturdiest of oak trees. 5 guys left behind the tree. It seems that they are.
What do you want to do?
Have lost their momentum to push, getting some return fire from 2nd US and 4th New Jersey just behind them, pushing out any aggression left by the CSA as they are cut down to single-digit numbers over on that Snake Grove fence.
So I just heard Chris say that as soon as CSA hits breaking, he wants to charge down the south side fence, the right fence. So let's see how this goes.
Here it is. They hit breaking. Let's see what type of movement is going to happen. Union is holding their loads. They're wanting to get aggressive. If they give up this corner and they're not able to at least wipe any unit along the Snake Grove fence, they will get completely wrapped again. Looks like 7th LA is pushing back ever so slightly, trying to maybe get this Union strung out. 1st LAB is pushing up straight into the Union. Drizzy Dre getting absolutely double tapped like Osama bin Laden. Melee breaking out here. 7th LA coming in to support the remnants of 1st LAB, which are getting wiped.
No.
1st Mass holding the line, sturdier than the Gritty himself.
They're going.
The push of the CSA seemingly
Mass
cut
is
down.
going.
The counterattack from the
there it
Union
goes.
coming down the south side.
They're going
1st
right
Lieutenant
to
Shovel getting chased by Nile himself.
Oh, now I got blasted.
Nile getting absolutely cut down.
Here goes the Union, the great push. Here it
The
goes.
momentum. Here comes the momentum push by the Union as they push up the south wall, almost completely unopposed at this point. We have a 14th Indiana private about to attempts to hold on for all of 14th Tennessee and missing his only shots as he falls back to friendlies. 3rd US being left to defend the corner by themselves as the rest of the Union has scampered off to greener pastures. 2nd Main is completely unaware of the fact that they are alone in the corner of the nipple, attempting to pull back, but
no.
it being a little too late.
And the orchard is gone. I was calling it the nipple. The orchard is gone. All the Union is straight on the point right now.
The Union is on point, fighting over it tooth and nail. 7th South Carolina is in a really good position to counterattack the point and get to the side of the Union, as they have been posted up there for quite some time. It will catch the Union completely by surprise. They simply just turn around. We have a very lost 8th Connecticut private in the woods on the north side of the riverbank. If he fires, I will have to kick him for Ramboing, as there's no one around within 100 yards. Archer Jr. here, about to get kicked for Ramboing here.
CSA going in on point.
I will gladly sign that. 5th Corps holding themselves to a higher standard. As I said that word slower than smoke off of Goose Poopy. The Union seems to have completely taken over the nipple. Where's the CSA pushing from? They're pushing straight across the dirt field from the west-northwest. First Lieutenant Choval himself leading the charge, pistol in hand, aiming and absolutely blasting the first and second guy he sees. 30 West trying to get into bayonet him. Oh, and him backing up just enough to get that 3rd shot off.
CSA is trying to get around the south side behind him, but I think they are too late.
Time is running out. The Union is stacked up heavy. I don't think they have the momentum to push out the Union.
Round 1 over!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote.
Dang, that was pretty crazy. I can't believe the Union did not get completely raped holding on that fence on the right. They were boxed in for a good amount of time there. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it was pretty impressive to see the split push actually working, with a small amount of Union mass Jersey being able to push on the left-hand side and draw away double their numbers, allowing the rest of the Union to push up the right-hand side, having numerical superiority, pushing off whatever skirmishers and holding up there for the majority of the game, just cutting down anybody that tried to push forward. There was some good back and forth there for a while. You can see the CSA kind of tightening the noose here at around halfway through the match. A lot of pressure coming in from the Union. At one point, they were all along the stone wall, but the CSA weren't quite able to capitalize on the opportunity that they created. Let's look at those casualties. And, oh, it is a slightly bloody victory, but a victory nonetheless. On to the second round.
That was a good one. Next map is
Eastwood Skirmish.
Yes, finally some buck and ball.
Buck and ball for the Union being extremely rare, almost as rare as a War of Rights player knowing how to spell the word girl instead of grill.
That was a terrible roast. I was gonna say almost as rare as me having sex. So what's the weather like where you live?
It is a chilly 73 degrees.
It actually sucks here. It's very, very crappy weather here today. What's the weather right now? It is 63 and kind of raining. Alright, I'm sure this is the wrong map. Yep, wrong map. Give it a minute there.
Very strong showing from the Union. Nobody else seemingly know how to change the map as we pan over. Here we see the Union doing the most, as we see some aggressive close-up shots of the fit of the Union.
Very hairy arms.
Hairy arms and brass buckles are what win wars, gentlemen. GG, Union sitting at a comfortable 2-0 tonight. Can they make it a 3-0?
Here to report from the front lines. I've just scoured the Port Hub front page and there was nothing good on there tonight. Sorry, I thought that was pretty good.
We kicked their asses.
As Fatty comes in here, dropping his dick on the table. Well deserved.
Good job.
That was good, man.
You guys got to watch a good one.
Oh yeah. You
Alright,
better
I
not
came in-
lose the second one.
No, I came in here to get the strat, and I saw y'all in here, so I stopped.
You're out here spectating and doing the most. Lots of Union Rambos tonight, surprisingly. Had to kick like 3 or 4 of them.
Really? One of
Mm-hmm,
my
yeah.
guys. You kicked my guys
one
right
of-
off the stuff.
One of your guys, one of my guys, one of Kevin guys, and I believe a gentleman from 14th Indiana as well.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know who it was, and I'll kill him.
It was, if I can see your event, VC, I can tell you who it was.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
should be easy.
Here we go. Round 2.
It was one of your privates.
I'm gonna take a guess, and I'm gonna say private.
It was not Waffen. It may be the guy. Surprisingly,
Bill
it was
Fish.
not. Surprisingly, it was not Randy Rambo. That is good.
Whatever. If you see anybody, warn the fuck out of them. Trying to kill.
Yeah.
It
I'm
would
going back to this
appear- It would
Hell
appear
yeah.
7th LA is coping hard, claiming that
I can't.
if you are not in 7th LA, then you are not.
Shit.
Yes, but if I flip that around, that means if you are 7th LA, then you are shit. But I don't know.
Using deductive reasoning not being a strong point for people 19 Budweisers into a Tuesday afternoon here on a beautiful Eastwood skirmish, which is not evening at Eastwoods, despite the fact that that's what it was known for quite some time. I'm going to regress the time of day through the power of the internet, and we're going to have a lovely 11 p.m. fight. There is progressive daytime in this game now, which is a nice little feature. So
Hold on. I need to explain something real quick, because I just did some reasoning in my head, right? If you ain't 7th LA, you ain't shit.
you ain't shit, you ain't nothing.
They're just proclaiming every group to be better than them, right? If you are 7th LA, you like I'm very confused now.
Applying a double negative to a moronic statement will tie your brain
Ain't
into a
7th LA,
nice
you
pretzel.
ain't shit. So they're
Here we see 7th South Carolina positioning themselves to rub their penis in the corn.
Wow, that's an amazing phrase. I no longer hate it. They're complimenting us.
I want to beat people to death with this flag.
Nate rallying his boys with some good old Virginia rally calls. Making that ugly Confederate monkey noise.
Hearing the rally cry of 7th Tennessee, who are we? We are Tennessee. Has a nice ring to it. I like it.
That actually is quite nice.
I don't know how to.
As you can tell, as commentators, we are doing our duty to not be biased at all whatsoever.
Yep. 5th Corps being the best corps in the entire game, the largest
whole
corps in the
game.
entire game,
The whole
the
game.
most disciplined unit, the most widespread unit, having the most
number one group. Alpha
immaculate
Wolves.
impact. And our unit
And that's
application has
facts.
said we are badass, and Mudlink has seemed not to dispute it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I will actually
Very
check
true.
on the status of said application and see if there's any response to such flagrant display of badassery. There is no response to said unit. I believe you should ping at everyone in the channel to make sure that you know that 5th Corps is badass.
We should let him know. Look at Niall go. He's like 30 feet ahead of everyone in his unit. That's more than 30 feet, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, Niall is Ramboing. If he aims
Total
down sights with his
alpha
pistol, I will have to permaban him for the next
Forever.
11 events.
So it looks like First Mass has the Sharps, and First Mass alone, grittying out to the rock in the center of the field.
Oh my
Ow, that one hurt.
taking a wicked volley from the CSA.
3 down.
Let's see here. 14th Tennessee punching them in the mouth, saying, hey, you may be a Bucktails, but we don't give a dang.
That on a hoit. Ooh, looks like 11th
Lots
Miss and
of
7th LA
fire.
are all trying to secure the CSA right flank.
There's
Very
a lot of
gritty.
fire being directed at First Mass over here on the rocks. There are 3 units shooting at them right now in volley and independent fire formations. Niles saying, I don't give a damn. We're staying here. We're going to shoot. We're going to use these sharps like the machine guns they were meant to be. Here comes the Union pushing down the far right-hand side, close to the Snake Grove fence.
They do not have
Captain
their loads
Cobb
right now.
leading the charge. You don't need a load when you ain't shit. So here comes Captain Cobb jumping over, dick in hand, blasting the fuck out of the first guy he sees, pushing up the corn,
I didn't
causing
even see this
absolute
here.
dismay among the CSA ranks in the corner of the corn. A second US starts putting in some shots into 33rd. The call going out, the pressure's being put on.
Oh, Union
Next
pushing in
wave.
the west side. Here they go.
Next wave of Union hitting the corner of the corn. Fatty leading the 4th New Jersey to put some pressure onto 33rd and 27th Virginia on the eastern corner of the corn. Some of them jumping over the fence as they start laying down the buck and ball. Looking at the western push on the Union, they are outnumbered. Let's see if this buck and ball is the great equalizer. 20th Georgia getting locked into melee combat as 8th Connecticut reloads in front of them while getting stabbed.
Alpha males.
Alpha male mentality
Alpha
really
male
sneaking
mentality.
in here. Some pretty aggressive independent going back and forth as shooting from 10 feet away with the buck and ball is bound to result in a kill. Chauvel counter pistoling the Union officer.
There he goes. Rome going to the face. Now the CSA starting to get
Ronald
in there.
trying to rally First Maryland to push into the corn.
Union starting to dwindle.
Vessel's swinging his dick over here.
Union's really starting to dwindle here. CSA getting reinforcements. Union definitely does not have enough people over here.
Union seems to have lost momentum
the
on the
backup?
western side.
Where's the beef?
It looks like Union is re-rallying and spawn.
Applesauce, man. Oh, he dead.
Union artillery getting into position to start laying down some fire on that eastern corner of the corn. Gunnery Sergeant Treaty about to line up the sickest shot of the match, I do believe, as both Union and CSA artillery on Burnside seem to have little to no impact. Let's see if 3rd US can be the great equalizer here today.
West side is pretty empty now. It seems that charge was inconclusive for both sides.
Just like my heart, as we continue to push through the game, let's see if First Mass is still holding. They are still holding on this rock formation, dealing with numbers 2-1. They are taking some fire from their southeastern corner, but Niles still content to hold this rock formation to the man. Let's see if looks like Union is starting to re-rally with the Tree of Life over on the road with 4th New Jersey and 2nd US. Starting to re-rally for a push. The rest of the Union starting to come out of main spawn. Here we see the rest of 4th New Jersey, the rest of 2nd US, 8th Connecticut, and the beautiful 1st Maryland rallying out of spawn with 1st Lieutenant Ronald at the helm. Niles reinforcements coming from main spawn, being led by 1st Sergeant Colors himself. That is a lot of empty ground to cover. They're already getting shot at. Dirt kicking up. Let's see here. There is a horseshoe formation going on over on the south corner of the Snake Grove fence. Lots of fire being positioned over that field. The CSA is still holding strong on both corners of the corn. It looks like some remnants of 1st Maryland trying to put some type of damage over on the rock formation. West Side Union, Poop Tank Frank trying to run back with the flag from the escort of 2nd Lieutenant Jag himself. Jag saying that ours is bigger, we don't give a dang. Pulling back behind Union artillery. An artillery is getting shot. The push down center road being an interesting strategy. Let's hope Union already can soften up that corner soon. Gunnery Sergeant Treaty grabbing the lanyard and just over. I believe it may have direct impacted one person, but the actual explosive charge from the shell doing nothing. 1st Maryland hitting the east side of this corn really hard, lining up on the Snake Grove fence, getting beautiful
They better
shots
jump over. They're gonna get shot in
into
the
the
back.
side
Oh,
of 33rd.
Get in there!
We
Get in
have
there!
to keep this momentum going.
Rest
Fritz
units
calling
on their
people
way.
little sluts as he stabs someone to death in cold blood.
The Union's getting in there. There goes Fatty.
Oh, here comes the Union. Hopefully, if they can get an east-to-west push and get the CSA dislodged from the corner of this corn. But it looks like the CSA is taking an interesting strategy. They have deployed on the northern portion of the snake rail fence, setting up a pretty wicked crossfire for any units that try and push on the western side through the corn. Looking like the road being the best option for the Union right now, as the fighting is getting vicious. It looks like Union is starting to gain some momentum, but 5th Alabama is counter-pushing back as they meet 2nd U.S. and friends over here on the line. Of course, melee combat in the corn being very disorganized and hard to tell who is friendly and who is foe. Simply going by the smell of your team and the others, having to rely purely on animalistic instincts here.
Looks like the Union push on the corner was not a success.
They seem to have... They're attempting to hold a beachhead, but the rest of 5th Alabama and 33rd pushing them back out of the corn onto the snake rail fence. The retreat being sounded by the Union as they again are forced to rinse and repeat. It looks like they are 7th South Carolina taking a very aggressive position, taking shots at Union artillery out in the field on those rocks. Very, very good ground for both Union and CSA. Captain Vaughn getting absolutely dogged on by 7th South Carolina, clipping that and saving it forever. What an absolutely beautiful shot. 3rd U.S.
First match going back.
7th South Carolina starting to get some pretty accurate fire onto the Union gun crews, slowing down their momentum.
Looks like Union's having to regroup at Maine after 2 not very successful pushes.
Yeah, Eastwood Skirmish being a notoriously aggressive map for Union. It is really a grab your socks and let's get going type of map. And after the initial charge was beaten away, they seem to have been going in piecemeal rather than consolidating with their friendly units to try and make something significant happen. First Mass out on their own as 14th Indiana First Sergeant Cuso is the only one at this rocks, and I believe he has been firing on his own.
Looks like First Maryland's trying to clear out the west side rocks.
Pushing out 7th South Carolina with a wicked volley as 7th South Carolina not wanting the literal smoke, forced to pull back into the corn. CSA not looking very strong over on that side at this time.
Yeah, if Union goes, they have a window.
First Maryland looks like they're going to position themselves on the snake rail fence. A good staging position to start contesting with the CSA to keep their heads down and those volleys going.
Looks like CSA is getting up there on that west side now. Union appears to have run out of time.
Union cannon starting to soften up the edge of the corn. Getting some pretty accurate fire in there, all things considered. They know where the CSA is. Union just has to decide how they want to push that. They've been outflanked on the south side by 20th Georgia. Let's see how this gun battle ensues.
Nope, that is 7th LA on the east side here. Fighting First
20th Georgia and 1st Maryland with some with 8th Connecticut deciding to push up the snake rail fence. They do have the numbers to take out 20th Georgia, but they're in an entrenched position with friendlies just to the east of 20th. All they have to do is send word. Here comes 5th Alabama. Here comes 1st LAB to push in and support. This fight just got a lot more interesting over here on the western side of the corn. Let's see what happens. There's a lot of bodies coming.
USA actually has got some ground here.
The momentum is building. First Lieutenant Adam of 20th Georgia doing amazing work with, oh, he is down! Team killed down in the time of his prime.
And the Union actually has a successful beachhead. CSA is coming in. Hopefully they can get there in time.
And Union has established a beachhead. Some remnants of 7th South Carolina. 2nd Lieutenant Callum thinking he was going back into friendlies. Here comes the CSA finally pushing up the western side. 1st Lieutenant Shovel making his presence known with the Walker 44, also known as the Horse Killer. You can hear that thing from across the map. Absolutely beautiful shots.
And the Union is pushing through the corn.
Completely ignoring the threat of 5th Alabama
with the flag.
With 1st Sergeant Wolf chasing the Union by himself.
Oh man, That's
Oh,
not
here
good
comes
for the Union.
a few more of the CSA. Are they going to be able to? Is Hankel going to be able to sneak this flag behind CSA lines? There's a small amount of Union group.
Wow, they actually
Union
made it through the
who
corn.
sneak through.
They actually made it through the corn.
This ragtag band of brothers.
Can they do it?
Starting a
16
post.
spawning on flag.
Looks like
right
it
now.
is.
It's just gonna
Coffins
keep
over
getting
here with
easier.
Hankel and a couple other First Maryland guys.
Some
Appears to
8th
be mostly
Connecticut. And some 1st Maine Cavaliers sneaking through.
Oh,
5th Alabama sending a few scouts to observe the position here. The first scout being shot. Here comes the second
Sergeant
one.
Barnes.
Let's see here.
He is going
He
to
sees
die.
them. He is running back. There's Corporal Big Nate right up the boot chute. First Sergeant Parts laughing at the death of his close friend. They grew up together back on the plantation. He's gonna have to tell his sister wife what happened there. All this being said, the CSA doesn't seem too content to address the Union beachhead that
repush
is
on the west side by the
slowly
Union.
growing. Some 7th South Carolina, Major Schreist calling for friendly. I don't think he knows that this is an enemy unit. I don't think the Union is aware that he is even there. He just got blasted, and that's all the same. Another CSA scout, Captain Dopemain himself, recently demoted, pushing forward to see.
Union push on the west, not looking too great for the Union.
I'm absolutely clipping that and sending it to him. Domain just yelled, I'm telling, as Bootstrapper put 4 bucking-ball rounds up his butt, launching him 10 corn stalks into the field. 2nd U.S. re-pushing against 14th Tennessee and 5th Alabama. There's a lot of rivals here. 4th New Jersey coming in to support. A lot of Union
actually
hanging
winning on the
back.
west there.
They are able
West
to
side
wipe
beachhead.
the initial unit. The CSA in the middle aware that 33rd positioning for a aggressive fight in the corn. Union pulling back,
Come back to the
trying to
fence.
reconsolidate their beachhead, leaving behind a small group of mostly 1st Maine guys. It looks like Mountain Man has gone completely AFK, unaware of the fact that he is indeed in a combat zone, having to deal with real-life situations. Biggest Rambo on Rambo action. That is not a kickable offense, as he is AFK. And if you walk away from the keyboard and don't have a shit bucket, are you really playing War of Rights? Let's see here. 2nd U.S. rallying on the straight rail fence. Union and CSA both moving around in the corn. Complete chaos ensuing. Let's take a look over on the eastern side to see if First Mass has any type of movement been able to happen. We have 14th Indiana posted up on the rocks, originally held by the 42nd Pennsylvania, controlled by First Mass Major Nile over on the eastern part. Rabbit in command of the beloved sharpshooters of the Union. 7th LA being caught into a pretty intense engagement
Look to the west.
over with the Sharps.
You got Union going through to the other side of the corn, following it's 1st Maryland, 8th Connecticut.
Captain Nate, seemingly the only surviving member of his unit, running north to south along the road, screaming, "Mommy, please, why are my boots full of my shit? I need a friend." And he is going to find that in 7th Tennessee, who's positioned himself on the point. Maybe a little bit too early, some would say, but that is a good rock formation for any Union that is going to push south into the forest. They're going to be the first unit to be able to see them, especially on that eastern corner of the fence.
West side, we got Union pushing through the corn, only fighting a small contingent of CSA, but it looks like the rest of the CSA is about to try and push that corn together.
First Lieutenant Adam rallying the support of 5th Alabama as First Lieutenant Shovel brings his unit forward. 20th Georgia passing along the information to the Alabamians. Shovel is going in with his sword and opting not to use his pistol. An absolute fool's errand, getting completely wasted by Sergeant Proverbs as he turns the other cheek. Buck and ball fight ensuing on the south corn. A lot of CSA pouring in.
4th of Jersey looks like they're not going to opt in to help the rest of the Union.
Union being able to get their flag away. Being held by Lieutenant Colonel Coffinkill. taking those little native running legs to 4th New Jersey. The Union seems pretty scattered right now. Small groups coming from Maine to reinforce the front line. Union artillery firing deep into the south corner of the corn. Actually, oh!
CSA going in. West side.
7th Tennessee getting it absolutely pummeled. The 33rd getting some of the effects of the suppression from 3rd U.S. That shot hitting the tree, landing a little short. Hopefully they can get that range up, get their kill count up as well. We have 2nd U.S. 2nd U.S. is crip walking through the corner, about to get a beautiful volley into the side of 7th Tennessee, catching them completely unaware, wiping them on the eastern side of the corn, catching them out, killing their commanding officer and their flag carrier. The NCO is not knowing what to do, getting wrapped up into the fence, still getting shot in the back, losing their leadership. They are down to a handful of men left from excellent maneuvering by Captain Cobb, 2nd U.S.
But they got some enemies behind them. Are they gonna notice? Ooh. 33rd Virginia getting the flank on 2nd U.S.
33rd pushing in. I don't think they know their enemy yet. They're advancing slowly. Wormy leading the charge. 2nd U.S. about to get caught out.
2nd U.S. a body in the back.
Battle line forming behind them. Pendant firing. They only killed 2 people from point blank range.
And they're charging in.
Melee combat ensuing. They're actually wiping the entire left flank and seemingly the rest of 2nd U.S. That was an excellent maneuvering on the eastern side. 2nd U.S. being able to do excellent work with their rifles, but situational awareness seems to have been lost on them as 33rd was able to execute a counter-flanking maneuver. Looking at the far southeastern side, northeastern side of the map, it looks like 1st Mass has rallied on the Snake Rail fence. It looks like they're going to start pushing southwest to get closer to point as the morale states continue to drop.
Oh, looks like 1st Maryland is opting in for the east side this time, as well as 1st Mass. Going for the center rocks.
A lot of movement going on for both teams right now as they reposture. 1st Mass, Rabbits Raiders, Dick in hand, trying to push out 11th Mississippi. 2 of them missing their shots. Rabbit missing his initial shot with the pistol, which is always tough to see. Nile taking a round to the penises. I have the hiccups, talking really hard right now. 11th Mississippi doing a lot of damage, even though being outnumbered with the reinforcements of 1st Maryland cleaning up what 1st Mass has started. Losing their flag. Private Larrabee picking it up to continue the push.
Oh, instead of get pushing down the center road, it looks like they're about to get clobbered by accident.
It looks like 5th Corps is pushing to the southwest corner of the Snake Rail fence. 8th Connecticut and 1st Maryland pushing up the main road right now with some resistance coming from 33rd. There's a lot of movement going on.
Oh, who's about to get clapped? 33rd getting hit in the back.
Oh my God.
Look at that. 4th New Jersey avenging the 2nd U.S.
like a present. Here we have CSA positioning themselves on the east part of the fence. Looks like 7th LA trying to get some volleys into the side of 1st Maryland. It's not going to be very effective as the Snake Rail fence. 1st Mass repositioning at the rocks to try and keep that left flank in check. Captain von Kaisenberg, the officer for the artillery on the 2nd map, trying to spot some potential juicy targets. Here we have Colonel Gomez running southeast across the field, looking for his lost kids. Nobody knows where they are. He's hoping to find them soon. He has rejoined his unit. Here we have 7th LA and 7th South Carolina. There's a lot of 7ths on the CSA. Thankfully none on the Union. I want to keep it that way. Too many 7ths. All amazing units nonetheless.
West side looks like 1st IB is trying to get a flank on the Union.
Here we have Stur's Moroccan squatting on the Snake Rail fence, trying to do some scout work for 1st Maryland, 1st Maine, and 8th Connecticut as they began pushing hard south through the left side of the corn. 2nd U.S. pushing in. All of Union 5th Corps pushing south through the corn to try and make up a lot of ground that was lost earlier in the game. I don't think the CSA has the numbers. 4th New Jersey pushing in from the west as well. 20th Georgia seemingly on an island.
That would not be good.
20th Georgia being completely overrun.
Union might make the mistake of early capping here. And they're getting wrapped around by 1st LAB to the north.
7th Tennessee putting in some fire into the eastern flank of the Union. 7th Tennessee also getting chewed up, deciding to pull back from that central position on the rocks. There's not really any good ground nearby. They are going to push back to the rocks, which is a decent position. I would opt for the Snake Rail fence. But that being said, I don't think that they're aware that 1st Mass is about to push up and start laying into some flanking shots into the... Oh, their flag absolutely getting nailed, and the second guy as well. 1st Mass proving why they have the sharpshooter moniker.
It looks like Union is going to make the vast mistake of camping early. This may be the only way they're going to actually lose this match. Oh, never mind.
Like
CSA
Union
also
is
making the
aware.
mistake of reinforcing.
Looks like Union was trying to give the CSA a little tickle, saying, "Hey, I'm here. Come and get me." 1st Mass still putting in those shots into 7th Tennessee. The flag crouching for 7th Tennessee, which does double your respawn time, but will keep you alive. The guy next to the flag and the guy spawning on flag, both getting nailed by accurate fire from 1st Mass. I believe that was a woman that just talked, completely unknown in the world of War of Rights. Looks like Union has a fairly strong position on the eastern side of the fence, opting to fire directly up the road and at the skirmish group. CSA starting to rally on the south side of the corn. Looks like 33rd and some remnants of 5th Alabama. Good communication between the CSA over on the corner of the corn, seeing what type of momentum, that shift that they can maybe cause. With a lot of rallying, a lot of communication. Most of the fighting seeming to happen on the eastern part of the road here. Good shots from both sides. 7th Tennessee still in a really bad position, getting crossfired, but not really wanting to give up that ground, understandably so. CSA pushing on the south side of the Union. 33rd saying, "Hey, watch your flanks." 8th Connecticut repositioning to try and drive off what's left of them. 33rd communicating the position of the Union to the rest of the CSA. There's a lot of critical mass going on the south side of the corn right now.
This is about to be a tough volley.
There's about to be a wicked powder keg go off here. If the CSA can get a good volley into the south side of the Union, looks like they're going to absolutely cut them like wheat. Let's see what's going to happen here. Small contingent wrapping around in the corn. The call out for Southwest has been granted to the Union. They have not. Oh, it looks like 1st Maryland is going to pull out of the corn, repositioning themselves on the Snake Rail fence to avoid the wrapping. Looks like 2nd Maine and 8th Connecticut are going to continue to hold their ground. Ronald trying to rally the Union to the north side of the corn to avoid overextending.
I hope I got that guy out the way.
Here comes the push. Here comes the push. 8th Connecticut engaging in melee combat with 1st LAB. Good maneuvering, good push, but they do not have the numbers to push out all of the Union on that corner. A few 20th Georgia trickling in as well, it seems. Canada getting absolutely blasted by Poop Train Frank himself. CSA losing all momentum on the western flank. Good maneuvering. They just did not have the numbers to push out the amount of blue bellies in that corner. Union is in a very strong position, covering the entire dirt field, which is the hardest portion of the map for Union to have to fight over, now that they are positioned all along the Snake Rail fence on both the eastern and western flank. It's going to take a lot from the CSA to push them out on any one section. It looks like we have 20th Georgia moving through the corn to the east, trying to get a little bit of a sneak onto the Union 5th Corps on the northeast corner.
Who's that getting around?
Mass, 20th Georgia is pushing west to north.
Getting behind the Union again. The Union is not getting very good at watching their flanks here. Oh, never mind. They've got a whole line looking straight towards us.
Oh,
20th Georgia about to get the beating of a lifetime. That one's gonna hurt for 20th Georgia.
Adam's still getting his first revolver shot off, and then literally nothing else. 20th Georgia getting absolutely
20th Georgia
on
getting
contact.
raped. Oh man, that was very tough for the Union. Sorry, for the CSA.
Sergeant Major Boomman from 7th South Carolina absolutely running home like the biscuits are getting cold. Repositioning with the remnants of the CSA. Most of the 33rd and 5th Alabama positioned at this corner of the corn. It looks like they are going to try and re-rally. Looks like 7th LA is pulling back towards the south. Tired of getting their shit rocked. 7th South Carolina actually in a good position on the eastern side to get some good flanking shots.
Ooh, 4th New Jersey going
into
to point.
1st Mass. 4th New Jersey is going to point. Fatty does not care. He got his penis in hand. They're pushing to point, trying to get the CSA to overextend.
Everyone's going.
Looks like 2nd Maine and 14th Indiana are also trickling in. 8th Connecticut and 1st Maine pushing up the south side as well, catching the CSA out of the corner. They've been rallying here for a long time, not making any concerted push, but there is a lot of CSA near point. Let's see what's going to happen as the Union starts to continue to trickle in. Do they have the critical mass to be able to dislodge the CSA from this corner? Does not seem to be the case. Looks like CSA is going to hold that south side for now, but majority of the Union, 4th New Jersey being the catalyst for this charge, is still sitting fairly comfortably on center point, with those rocks being really strong to be able to cover the west and south side fire as well. 1st Mass taking the forward position on the rocks as well.
7th South Carolina trying to get behind the Union. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a great use of their time.
Good maneuvering. It looks like Rabbit sees them moving behind. Some shots going off by 1st Mass. Not really anything connecting right now. Carolina pushing up to the fence line.
Ooh, CSA trying to recap that point. They're going in.
Good shots off. 1st Mass is caught out. If the Union gets pushed off on the southwest side, 1st Mass is going to be on an island right now. And that seems to be what's going to happen. The Buckenball companies, the good old boys of Pennsylvania, being pushed out. Rabbit engaging all of the CSA by himself. 1st Mass flag going down. The Bucktails are out by themselves. I don't think they're aware that they're alone in this world.
USA doing a full retreat. And the only friendlies left on point would be 1st Mass, and they are all dead.
CSA being able to hold that ground over on the south side of the corn, just into the woods line. Lots of dense CSA. That's a good defensive position for the CSA to hold. If I were the Union right now, knowing that the west is completely exposed, I would be going the long flank through the corn right now. Let's see what they decide to do. Some remnants of 8th Connecticut.
Positioning themselves on the corn, all holding on point. USA has 12.5 minutes left to cap it.
7th South Carolina positioning themselves on that flank. Gonna get first contact on any Union pushing across that dirt patch. Zeb is scanning. Oh, we have Lieutenant Colonel Coffin-Kill of 1st Maryland bringing back the flag of the Bucktails. And 7th South Carolina is going to try and nail him as he runs across the field, and he gets absolutely clapped by an unnamed marksman. 7th South Carolina pushing up to those more forward rocks again. Looks like some skirmishers from 8th and 2nd are going to try and contest it. Let's see if they're able to push these guys out. It is a pretty even fight. There's only a handful on each side. Coming down to individual skill. Missing that first shot, not going to be good. Zeb pushing up. Spiral pushing up. First Sergeant Kosu defending himself to the man. Getting a kill and a stab. 7th South Carolina being able to take those rocks in a very small engagement, but very violent nonetheless. Vaughn might be able to spot for artillery right here, but 7th South Carolina is notorious for killing officers, and they nail the first shot out of their muskets for 5 out-of-line tickets. I'm clipping that one as well and sending it to our friend over at 3rd U.S. Horse Artillery. Looks like Billa has been able to rally 8th Connecticut. 2nd U.S. is also rallied and pushing. 1st Maryland pushing. It looks like all of the Union has got their momentum going. 7th South Carolina just pushed out of that forward position. They are eyeing that flag hungrily.
Yeah, like that.
Looks like a lot of the CSAs positioned themselves on the snake rail fence. A
First
lot of
one's in
fire
there.
coming down.
1st Maryland.
Ronald calling for a run-out volley in the middle of the field.
They are going to die.
They're getting absolutely chewed up like gum in a baseball player's mouth. 80% of
Dead.
First Maryland.
Second US coming in right behind them. They are probably also going to get clobbered. God
Good
damn.
Union push over on the far western side. They're able to take that nipple. Good position for the Union to get a beachhead going. They can freely move east to support friendlies, but they're shooting wildly into the corn at what I would consider a lesser threat at this point. CSA about to be pushed in the last stand. I have not stopped talking since joining this chat, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wild night.
Well, just gentlemen, maybe.
Lady and gentlemen.
Alright, looks like CSA is about to get smashed into last stand momentarily. Oh, there it is! CSA not playing the clock properly, unfortunately. It looks like they're going to have to pay for it. So, rallying back at point, it looks like. Looks like they're going to try and hold for 9.5 minutes. Unfortunately, I do not think that is possible. But let's see what they got.
See here, 8th Connecticut and 1st Maryland trying to make something happen. Getting some good shots on the retreating CSA units. It looks like 1st Mass is pushing east side. Dick in their hand. They are intent on getting some kills.
There goes
Kilroy
Kilroy.
pushing out far ahead of his unit. If he does aim that rifle, I will have to kick him. As he is violently
He's
Ramboing.
going straight towards him.
Complete and utter disregard in melee mode, getting
He's
fucking
dead.
raped.
Oh man, what a brave soldier.
Now, this is a team-based game, ladies and
7th
gentlemen.
Tennessee
This is
getting
not Call
wiped
of
on the
Duty.
rocks.
Bucktail's using the bayonet. It's very unconventional, but effective nonetheless.
Nope, never mind. 7th Tennessee's still alive.
Looks like Bilbo is pushing his unit along with 1st Maryland across the corn. They are making a play for point. CSA kind of all over the place in the woods right now. A lot of bodies to chew through.
Getting a good push to the corner.
First bits of melee combat. 3rd US pushing forward into melee mode. Foot swords in hand, stabbing 7th Tennessee, cutting them up like onions right now. And who says artillery doesn't know how to get their hands dirty?
Man, Union getting a really good push here. They're getting into him. CSA unable to respawn. I fear this is the last push the CSA will be able to hold. Look at those reinforcements for the Union flow in.
Lots of forward momentum here, especially on the southeastern side. The units over at the corn actually being countercharged by the CSA. A complete waste of manpower. Possibly the dumbest thing they could do is to try and push out units that are not within cap range. Seems to devolve into some type of gunfight. Union being sent into final push, surprisingly enough. The clock slightly tipping in the favor of the CSA, but 3.5 minutes. As their numbers dwindle down, I don't think they can make it happen. Union is now capping points, heavily entrenched.
Very beautiful 2-0 for the Union.
Henkel breaking rules for Soundpad.
Ban
Playing
him.
beloved Maryland. Irish having to kick him for celebrating his units. Gonna have to deal with that in debrief, ladies and gentlemen, but that is the name of the game.
That is a Union 2-0 and a very beautiful one, if I might say so myself.
Even
Thank
though
you
I
for
did
joining
not
us.
spin the wheel, Union was able to get the dub all the same.
Thank you for joining us, gentlemen, and maybe one lady. That was a very good game. Let's check out the casualties, and then we shall end it there.
Me already getting a DM from J.E. Henkel for breaking Soundpad rules. He is upsetty spaghetti. Looking at movement of the Union, CSA held strong. Extremely high casualty game, much higher than Burnside's already, not even halfway through. Lots of action over on the corn side.
Wow.
Lots of fighting in the middle.
Look at those CSA out of lines, keeping up with the Union out of lines.
Lots of deaths all
Whoa!
around.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be way worse for the Union.
8-19 for CSA and 9-16 for Union. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Ghost of Antietam, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
And that's all she wrote.
I am Irish, signing off with my co-host.
Kevin.
And lady and gentlemen, have a good night.
Have a good evening.